So what's going on, guys, and welcome everybody back to a brand new video. Now, it's no secret PUBG has had its fair share of technical issues, and as of recently, these have really started to crop up, but this is probably one of the strangest updates that we're going to be getting to address a lot of these things, and because they're very weird problems, and I'll explain why in just a second, but today we're going to be expecting a lot of fixes coming to the game in the relatively distant future, so it's some pretty exciting stuff for players who have been turned off by this kind of thing. PUBG has also responded to the recent comments on the new blood effects and what they plan to do with it, as it's going to undergo some more changes than it already has, which is interesting. So you're going to want to keep an eye out for that. We're going to be talking about some new changes to Kraken, as well as a little bit of Vikendi remastered. We've got a lot to unpack today, but it'll be quick and clean. Sit back, relax, enjoy the video. If you guys don't mind, drop a like rating on the video and consider subscribing if you haven't done already. Apparently, 82% of my viewers aren't subscribed, which is all right, but if you want to, I would appreciate it. So let's start by diving into the dev note that they put out regarding the recent blood effect changes and what they plan to do with it in the future. Now, they put out this dev note to essentially explain what their decision process was behind this. And honestly, it's a pretty long article, and I'm going to link the entire thing in the description if you want to read it. It's a little bit technical, and it's going to take you a couple minutes to get through, but what I'm going to do is summarize all the important stuff and sort of just condense it here for you guys. Ultimately, their goal with changing the way blood effects work is to create a more even playing field for how these effects are displayed, because as you guys know, as I've even previously shown on this channel, you can change not only the colors and somewhat of the different particle effects of your blood to sort of give you an advantage to know whether you hit somebody or not. In the past, I had always recommended some very bright colors if you want to see if you got a hit from far away or not, and while I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with that, yeah, I guess it does provide maybe a slight advantage to players using these brighter blood effects just to know if they hit somebody from far away. There was also a Korean rating setting you could use that would change the blood to more of like a greenish effect that wasn't available through the traditional colorblind settings, but they wanted to basically make this consistent across all types, and to do that they had to completely overhaul the way that the blood mechanic works, and so that's exactly what they did. When this patch was released, the immediate problem became clear. It was a little bit difficult to see if you had hit somebody or not, especially given the lighting settings. If it was too dark, you wouldn't be able to tell if you tagged someone, and especially at very far away distances, it was virtually undetectable if you got a hit or not. This got hotfixed pretty quickly. They made the visibility much more apparent, especially in bad lighting settings, and then also at a distance, it's now much easier to tell when you tag somebody. And as you guys know, I was pretty upfront about this patch before. I did not like the new blood effects at all. I was just not a fan whatsoever. But after some time, and especially after the hotfix, I actually really like it now. The new blood effects are great, and I especially like the splatter effect because not only can it give you context clues, but it just looks a little bit better as well. Now, here's the thing. While the blood effects, I think, are in a good place at the moment, they're not done being tweaked. They mentioned in this letter they're still going to be adjusting colors and particle sizes, that sort of thing. All of the technical issues are going to be sorted out with this, but what's also very weird is that over on Twitter, we saw that from a community manager, apparently the blood effects were received very positively overall in the Western countries, but in the Eastern countries and that, portion of people who play the game, this was received very poorly. And you might ask me, why would the exact same mechanic and patch be received so just drastically differently in two areas of the world, in two different populations? Honestly, it's hard to say. My only assumption is that in the West, first person is generally the more popular game mode, and third person is more popular in Eastern countries. That is literally the only thing that I would assume has anything to do with it, but that doesn't still fully explain it. So I'm not sure, but they're going to be tweaking it to make at least as many people as they can happy. So this is still going to undergo some effects. I expect to see some changes soon. And also, they reverted this patch on console and left them with the old blood effects for now because it's just not working properly over there. They're going to be sorting that out. So I think that patch is going to be rolled out for console soon, but they're going to have to wait a little bit longer. You can expect to see this new patch sometime this month from what they say. So it's going to be during February. Exactly when, we're not sure, but I would imagine probably mid or late. Ever since patch 5.3 was added during last season, the game has been suffering a lot of performance issues. And I know it's a meme to just say that PUBG isn't running properly, but as of recently, it's gotten pretty bad to a point where even like the most beefy computers, and it doesn't matter essentially what system you have, you're gonna experience like a lot of FPS fluctuation, stuttering, and even crashing. If these problems sound familiar to you at all, don't worry, you're not alone. In fact, I had an incident on stream just a couple of days ago where my my game crashed so hard my computer would not even reboot up. I literally unplugged the power cord and left it unplugged for the rest of the night while I was sleeping. I came back in the morning, and then only then would it finally reboot. Something terrible happened, and it decimated my entire computer. Now, PUBG support finally put out a tweet response to this, and they said PC players were aware of ongoing FPS stuttering and momentary freezing being reported by players. We're continuing to actively investigate this issue, and we'll provide an update as soon as possible as we work towards a fix. It's good to see them acknowledge this problem, and while it doesn't happen to me every game, it's noticeable, and it's very annoying when it happens, and it's been in the game for quite a while, and so I'm hoping they are able to get this worked out in a relatively short amount of time, but at least they're aware of it right now and working on a fix. Another issue that's getting looked into, we know for sure, is the server packet loss that a lot of players are facing. Now, I was almost convinced for a while that like almost every PUBG player was having this problem, regardless of the server you played on and that kind of thing, and I've been experiencing this for the past like, it's almost been 2 months, and I just assumed that this was a problem that's being looked into, but apparently this is not affecting central region players, and they're honestly not sure why this is happening, and that's a little bit worrying. For East Coast players like myself, and I'm not exactly sure about West Coast, you can let me know in the comment section if that is any of you guys, this packet loss issue has not gone away for a while, and unfortunately they're not really sure what's the problem with this. This has been one of my biggest deterrents for playing the game recently. It's just really disheartening to always have like a severe amount of packet loss per whatever game. Virtually, it doesn't matter what server I connect to, it's almost always going to happen, so I'm hoping this gets looked into soon. If this has been affecting you, also let me know down below. Now let's talk about Kraken really quickly. Some of the changes that were made and some new ones that are coming. Now, the overall loot pool on that map has been increased, thank God, but there hasn't been really any new items added. There still isn't any big scopes that are playable on the map. It's still pretty much like a 3x fan club gathering at the end of every match on that, and so I'm hoping maybe we'll get a little more scope variety. That's the only thing I would probably ask for at this point, but yeah, the overall loot has been increased, but there hasn't been any new ones added, unfortunately. Speaking of new items, though, the Panzerfaust that we saw within the Season 6 trailer is likely going to be coming within the next update. Now, this is always sort of how it goes. There'll be one like new weird item that comes with each season that doesn't launch exactly with it, either due to them wanting to build hype for it or just making sure all of the technical issues with that particular item are worked out. And of course, the Panzerfaust, the rocket launcher, is going to be coming to this map. And personally, I think this weapon addition is going to be great, especially if they decide to add some kind of maybe small vehicle to Kraken. This could add some really interesting sandboxy gameplay, and I'm looking forward to at least the rocket launcher, but potentially new vehicles as well. Now, that's pretty much it for Kraken right now. I would still expect this map to evolve as the season continues. This is by in no way, shape, or form finished or a final product yet. Something I feel would benefit Kraken greatly is the addition of the flare gun. Now, I understand that there's no vehicles on the map yet, so they would have to adjust something instead of including the BRDM, but I wouldn't say they necessarily have to do that either. The BRDM would be wonderful on a map that's this strapped out with explosives. You could do some really fun things with the C4 equipment and then the BRDM and potentially claymores if they decide to add it. The flare gun, I think it's a shame it's not in the map yet, and so I'm hoping this gets added in a patch or two. I just don't see why not we shouldn't have it, you know what I'm saying? I'm also almost positive that Sanhok got hotfixed where the 15x has now been added to the game, because for a while the 15 times was not available even in crates on Sanhok, but I swear I saw a post on social media announcing that it was added to the map, but I can't find the post anymore, and to be honest, I honestly think I might have dreamed it. But as far as I'm aware right now, the 15x actually is available on Sanhok at the current moment, so that's good. And last but not least, guys, let's quickly talk about Vikendi Remastered. Now, I had made an entire video describing exactly what I think they're going to be doing with this map, but at that point, they really hadn't dropped anything official, but over on Twitter, they released this image right here that will show that right now Vikendi is being worked on, as they say. The roads are closed due to heavy snow, but will be back temporarily. Now, this is basically what I think is going to happen. This entire season will be dedicated to Kraken. I don't think we're actually going to be having to play Vikendi Remastered until this season is over. It just wouldn't make sense sense to take the spotlight off of what Season 6 is all about. And in fact, I don't even want Vikendi Remastered just yet. I like this anticipation building. I want to be able to fully digest Kraken as well, because this map is still new. Maybe there's not a whole lot to it, comparatively speaking to the other BR maps, but still, at the end of the day, it's a brand new map with new features, and is clearly going to continue to evolve as time goes on, but it's the main course right now for this season. But I think probably for Season 7, Vikendi Remastered is going to be the big one, and I am incredibly excited for that. I haven't been this excited for a map since Erangel Remastered was announced. At this moment in time, I think that Vikendi Remastered is going to blow us away. I really think that maybe Kraken feels like it's lacking somewhat because all of the big resources and their big plans are being put into this new map, and honestly, if that's the case, I'm completely fine with it. But these are the updates that I would expect coming in the future. A lot of technical stuff, but a lot of new cool content that we're going to be seeing as well. So let me know what you guys think about this stuff down below in the comment section. Is there anything in particular you would like to see either in a technical patch or a content update? I'd love to know down below. Also, guys, make sure to drop a like on the video if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're brand new. And also, guys, go follow me over on Twitch if you haven't done already. I'm streaming right now, and it's a good place to hang out, and I'd love to see you over there. But anyways, have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next live stream or the next video. Take it easy, and peace out.